Hey guys, John the Soda here, back again doing another movie review. Now, if you guys remember, my last video was for the It book, and if you guys remember my Moonrise Kingdom review, I said I was going to be reviewing a series of movies that take place in the summer. So yeah, and it is one of them, and that's why I wanted to review the book. So yeah, uh, yeah, we are reviewing the old It movie from 1990, Stephen King's It. So yeah. So Stephen King's It is directed by Tommy Lee Wallace and features Tim Curry, Jonathan Brandis, Brandon Crane, Adam Friesen, Emily Perkins, Seth Green, Marlon Taylor, Ben Heller. Who else does it features? Olivia Hussey, Jared Blackard, Sheila Moore, Chris Eastman, Gabe Cuse, Michael Ryan, and Frank C. Turner. So the plot of it has the exact same plot as the book. Seven kids band together to fight off this shape-shifting clown that's been eating and hunting Derry for as long as time. Yeah, um, so yeah, that's basically the whole plot of the It movie. The exact same plot as the book. So yeah. Now, do I like the Stephen King's old movie? Yeah, I love the old movie. I'm actually gonna be doing this in two parts because like this movie, because like this is like a mini. This was a mini series, but like it's like two episodes, but each episode is an hour and 30 minutes long. But I always like seeing them as like two movies because like they're both the same runtime as a movie. So yeah. So right now we'll be reviewing the first part of the It miniseries, the kid part of the child part of the miniseries. So yeah. So I love this one actually. Like this one I actually really love this one actually. The first part of the movie is actually really good actually. So yeah. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, just this movie was really good and like this movie's not really much faithful to the book, but as its own thing and but being its own and all of that and like what it like just being its own thing, it really succeeds on being its own thing. So yeah. Yeah, it's a really good movie. Like if you don't view it as like if you don't I think people who love film and love the book will love this movie, but people who love the book so much and just love books and don't really love film that much will probably hate this movie. So yeah, but like if you're the one of those people who love movies and books like at the same time, you'll love this movie. So yeah, yeah, this movie was just really good. So yeah, just as an adaptation to it kind of it worked as an adaptation, but as its own thing, yeah, it definitely worked too. So yeah, and let me think. Yeah, and this movie was really scary actually. And actually, I first watched this movie when I was like 4 years old, and I remember it scaring the living shit out of me. So yeah, but as time grew more, and once I watched it when I was like when I watched it again when I was 7 years old, like I started really liking it more, and like I got more into the characters and all of that, and like yeah, this movie kind of got me into film too, actually. So yeah, because like when I was 7 years old, this is what made me like love characters so much and all of that. So yeah, this movie like kind of got me into film too. But I watched a lot of other movies before that got me into film too. So yeah, but this movie actually was the first movie that made me give a shit. Was actually the first movie I saw that made me give a shit for all these characters and all of that. So yeah, so yeah, like all the characters in this movie are amazing. Actually, I love all the characters in this movie. But before I get into the characters, I just want to say Pennywise. Now, um, adapting Pennywise from the book. Pennywise in the book was fucking scary. Like he literally was like really scary in the book, and you can really tell that like this dude, this thing is a thing that like it's not a human being. That it's really scary. You can tell that it loves hunting and eating dairy. You can just tell it loves eating kids and loves feeding off fear and all of that from the book. And now adapt and that it was an alien from outer space. So yeah, and then adapting that to a movie, to this movie, they did a damn good job adapting it. They did a damn good job with it in this movie. Actually, Pennywise was fucking scary in this movie too. Yeah, yeah, he was really scary in this movie, and he's like the scariest part of this movie. So yeah, like Tim Curry as Pennywise was amazing. Like a lot of people say that he might be the perfect Pennywise, but me personally, I kind of prefer Bill Skarsgård just a smidge more. So yeah, but I still really love Tim Curry as Pennywise too. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, he was terrifying as Pennywise. Like just from like seeing the front cover, he's just terrifying. So yeah, like what made it even more scary was that like they made him look like a regular circus clown. Like they didn't make him look like a really creepy circus clown that looked like a killer, but they made him look like a regular circus clown with like his clothes like kind of clean and all of that, and like his like he just looks like this normal average circus clown, but he but on the outside, but on the inside he's a fucking monster. Like not even like a metaphor. He's a fucking monster. He's literally a monster. So yeah, in this movie they imply that he's a monster. I don't think they imply that he's yeah they don't imply that he's an alien in this movie. But like there is this one line that he gives out where he's like where he's like where the kids like are in the end like trying to like defeat him, and he's like, you priceless brats, I am eternal child, and I am the eater of worlds and of children, and you are next. So yeah, from that line you can tell, you can maybe get the idea that maybe he's an alien, like he's been eating off a lot of other planets too and living like longer than time and all of that. So yeah, like you can really tell that he really was the eater of worlds too. So like that's just one line that gives you a hint that he's an alien. But from what this movie shows you, he's mostly a monster. Actually, he's mostly just this shape shifting monster that can like turn into like people's fears. Like it can like read people's minds and like turn into what they fear and all of that and take the form of that. And that is really scary actually. And they captured that so well in this movie. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, let me think. Oh yeah, he was just really scary. Just like all like him, like what how he was acting and all of that, his personality and all of that. You can really tell this is a really evil clown. So yeah, you can just really tell that he's just loves eating children. He's just really scary. Just like his Tim Curry's performance in this movie is amazing, and in my opinion, it still holds up today. So yeah, it's just really scary. So yeah, his laugh too is so scary, and like his voice and like the way he moves is just really scary too. So yeah, Tim Curry played the shit out of Pennywise. So yeah, let me think, is there anything else about Pennywise I should say? Yeah, just Pennywise, like all the stuff he does is just really scary. He's just really terrifying. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, he's just really terrifying in this movie. So yeah, and like I remember him giving me nightmares when I was a kid, and I remember when I was a kid, like I would always look at the when I would take a shower, I would always look at the shower drain to make sure Pennywise wasn't gonna come out of it. So yeah, and that's another thing too. The scariest part of this whole movie is probably the scene in the shower. Like that's really creepy. Like when Pennywise like comes out of the shower drain, and then like while someone is in the shower, like while Eddie's in the shower, and he's like talking to Eddie, and he's like, "Here I am, Wheezy. Hey, you're gonna like it down here." And then he's like, "Won't do any good to run, girly boy." And then like Eddie, you can really see Eddie's fear in that scene. Like Eddie was like really scared. Like he was just like inhaling for breath a lot, and he was just really like having a really bad asthma attack. So yeah, and then like and then like and then like Pennywise is even like, see you in your dreams, and oh, and come back anytime. Bring your friends. And then he shows Eddie his teeth, and that scene was just fucking scary. So yeah, just that was probably the scariest scene in this entire movie. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Pennywise? I think that's all I have to say for Pennywise for now. So yeah, let's get to the Losers Club. Now I love the Losers Club in this movie. They did a damn good job adapting the Losers Club in this movie. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, the Losers Club in the book, I said in my review, they're my second favorite group of kids in a. They're my favorite group of kids ever in a book. So yeah, and they're my favorite group of characters ever in a book too. So yeah, and so adapting them to a movie was kind of I was kind of for the new movie. I'll talk about the new movie. I'll get to this once I talk about the new movie. But yeah, I watched this movie before I read the book, like I said in my other review. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, adapting the Losers Club, like the way they adapted them in this movie was actually amazing. Actually, like they did the greatest they could to adapt the Losers Club. Actually, so yeah. But my one big major complaint with it is that this movie I think is this movie is not rated, but like it definitely like has a lot of PG-13 moments. Like this movie, I would call PG-13 actually, cause like there's no it doesn't really show much blood, and like it doesn't show when Pennywise eats the children, and like there's no cussing in the movie, cause in the book like the Loser Club did so much cussing. And they did a lot of smoking in the book too, but here they don't. They actually don't do none of that. They don't cuss or smoke. But I guess that's something to forgive, cause like I guess that's something to forgive. That's just like two moments that they could have done, but like yeah, they still did a pretty good job adapting the Losers Club. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, I think that's my one and only major a major flaw with this movie was that there wasn't any like of that gruesomeness and all of that. So yeah. But let me think. But it is still really scary. Like when Pennywise like goes up to children and it cuts to black. That makes it a little bit that makes it a lot scary actually too. So like yeah, that makes it really scary too. Was like not showing it, just cutting to black and showing the children's fears in their faces and all of that, and showing his teeth. So yeah, I think yeah that was pretty scary. That was a pretty scary touch too. So yeah, I guess like yeah they did a pretty good job adapting it too. But yeah, yeah that was just yeah it was just pretty scary. So yeah, with the Losers Club, I just wish they could have maybe like done like cussing moments and like scenes where like they would smoke. Let me think. Let me think. What else is there? Oh yeah, just like I just wish I could have done that, but like that's something the new movie really nailed. So yeah, but I'll get to the new movie. Like two more reviews after this, because after this I'll review the second part of this. So yeah, let me think. But I think I'll get around to reviewing it today. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Yeah, the Losers Club. They did a damn good job adapting the Losers Club. Like you can really tell that these are really friends that really love each other and all of that. And you can just really tell, really buy their friendship a lot. And it's really heartwarming and really emotional. And like it touches your heart a lot. Just like seeing these kids like band together and like hanging out and building a dam too. Oh yeah, that was another thing I really loved about this movie is that they did the scene where the kids build a dam in the Barrens. They didn't do that in the new movie, which I wish they could have done. But like that's what I really loved about this movie too, is that they put that dam scene, that like really cool dam scene from the book in here. So yeah, that was a really cool moment too. And you can really, it's just really heartwarming to see these kids like band together. And yeah, I just love these kids so much. Yeah, they're just really cool. So yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about the kids? Yeah, it's just it's just really cool like seeing them like doing a lot of stuff together, going to the movies and like standing up to themselves from the bullies. So yeah, they're just really cool. So yeah, let's talk about the kids like separately. Now Bill Denbrough, I love Bill Denbrough in this movie. Bill Denbrough is like is kind of the same as he was in the book, but except he doesn't cuss like I said. So yeah, he's kind of the same as he was in the book. They actually did a bit, just a smidge of a better job adapting Bill in this movie actually from the new movie. I would say they did a better job with Bill in this movie actually. Cause like with the silver bike and all of that, they really did a good job adapting the silver bike in this movie. So yeah, in the new movie they didn't really focus on the silver bike like very much at all. So yeah, so yeah, in my opinion, I think they did adapt Bill just a smidge better in this movie. But in the new movie, there's a lot of cool moments and really, really emotional moments with Bill in the new movie. So yeah, but I just like this movie's better because like it gives us a lot of emotion with the silver bike and all of that. So yeah, let me think. Let me think. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, Bill was just really cool in this movie, and yeah, he still had a stutter, and like you can really buy his character and all of that he really wants to kill it. And I love that scene where like he's crying, where he's crying with the Losers Club, where he's showing his rage on it. He's like, "You killed my brother Georgie, you bastard. Let's see you now." It's scared of us. I swear to God, it is. I can feel it, and yeah, and then he starts crying, and then he's like, I want to kill it, and then he starts crying, and he's like, help me. Please help me. Yeah, that scene was really emotional actually. And you really felt for Bill in that scene. And then in that scene, all the losers hug Bill, and it's just really emotional and really heartwarming and really sad. So yeah, I love that scene so much. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, that might be one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie actually. So yeah. And then, yeah, Bill, they really did a really good job with Bill in this movie. Yeah, you can just really buy his character, and that he even has like a small crush on. Wait, no, I don't think he had a crush on Beverly in this movie, but he was just really good friends with her. So yeah, yeah, just Bill was just they really captured him really well in this movie. So yeah. Let me think. And then there's Ben Hanscom. They captured him really well in this movie too. Ben is like they really captured his fatness really well, and like how he like has a big crush on Beverly and all that. Yeah, that was really cool in this movie. So yeah, and it was really cute. So yeah, they really did a damn good job adapting Ben too. So yeah. Yeah, and just like I just love how like he's always like with Beverly, and like he's the one that like got Beverly to join the Losers Club. So yeah, and yeah, he was just really cool. So yeah, it just like all the scenes with him with Beverly was really cool, and like we even got a small like character moment with him that he yeah, I don't think this was in the book, but it was like a character moment. Yeah, I think they did a really the damn good job adapting Ben. So yeah, so like that we get this small character moment where he actually had a father that was in the military, but he died. He got gunned down, and like since then like he's really been missing him and all of that. And then like he's like a new person in Derry. Like he's like he lives in Derry like from this other place. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, and like he's living with his cousins, but he does not get along with his cousins at all. So yeah, and the cousin even tells him he's only there because mom says it's their Christian duty. So yeah, and then like he's even crying. He's even like getting sad slash mad that like they wouldn't have treated us like this if Daddy were still alive. And then he says he hates it here and all of that, but like he really gets around to loving it in Derry once he like starts getting along with the Losers Club. So yeah, just Ben was really cool in this movie. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, he was just really cool. So yeah, and I love like all the scenes with him and the bullies too. And I love when he's that scene where he stands up for himself from the bully. So yeah, and he also saves Beverly and like stands up for her too. So yeah. Let me think. And then there's Eddie Kaspbrak. I love Eddie Kaspbrak in this movie. They did a really good job adapting him. I think either him or Richie was my favorite Losers Club out of this. So yeah, he was really good too. Let me think. What else was there? Yeah, Eddie was really cool. Yeah, they really did get a damn good job with this. They kept a lot of the stuff from the book where like he had asthma, but like the asthma was all in his mind and all of that. Like his whole sickness was all in his mind, and like the as his inhaler was just a placebo. Yeah, yeah, that was just that was really cool, and like they even kept like all the stuff in the from the book that his mother was really overprotective on him and all of that. So yeah, they kept all of that in, and that was really cool. And yeah, and you really felt for Eddie too, like with him like being like a victim of an overbearing mother. So yeah. Yeah, you really felt for Eddie too, and like him with having his asthma attacks and all of that. So yeah, and him like being really scared of it. So yeah. Let me think. And then there's Beverly Marsh. Now I love Beverly Marsh in this movie. They did a damn good job adapting Beverly Marsh in this movie. So yeah, Beverly Marsh, like they still kept a lot of the stuff in the book where like she like got the poem from Ben, but she didn't know that it was from Ben and all that. She thought it was from Bill. So yeah, and then the stuff in the book with her having a very abusive father, like she abuses her physically and sexually, but she doesn't. I don't think he abuses her sexually in this movie, but that was in the book and in the new movie. So yeah, but like all they kept in were like he would just abuse her. He wouldn't abuse her sexually. So yeah, and like they still kept in that line. Not even 12, and you're running off with some boy. I worry about you, Beverly. I worry a lot. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, they did a really good job adapting her, and I love how like she was the only girl of the group, and like she was like the most mature out of all the boys in the group. So yeah, and like in the end with the slingshot and the silver slugs, she was the only one to like get a good aim and shoot all the bottles, and yeah, I really like that a lot too. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else about Beverly Marsh I should say? Yeah, Beverly Marsh was just really sweet too with all the losers. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, just I love that. I love Rich. Now we get to Richie. Now I love Richie in this movie. They did a really good job adapting him too. Richie, I think, was probably my favorite out of all the losers in the book, actually. So yeah, and he was the one I could relate to a lot. Him and Eddie, actually. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, Rich. They did a really good job adapting Richie in this movie, and he was played excellently by Seth Green, actually. And I think him, like the actor of him, was the only actor to get really famous once he grew up. I think a lot of these actors didn't really get much famous. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, Seth Green, like he actually did become what Richie became when he got older, a radio show host, and like he does a lot of voices. Yeah, Seth Green does that in real life too. So yeah. Let me think. Yeah, Richie was really good in this movie. He was really funny too. Like he was the funniest part of this movie, just like in the book. So yeah, and like I love all the scenes with him doing his voices and all of that. So yeah, and like him just like being funny and all of that, and just being like geeky and all that. So yeah, he was really cool in this movie too. So yeah, let me think. Let me think. And I love like how they keep in the nicknames he says for all the kids. But like one thing I wish they could have kept in the movie, and they didn't bring this back in the new movie either. Actually, like I loved when Richie would always call Beverly Miss Scarlet a lot in the book. They didn't ever put that in the adaptations, but I really wish they could have kept that because I really liked that nickname for Beverly. So yeah, but like I love how like they kept him. They kept him in like calling Ben Haystack and calling Eddie Spaghetti. So yeah, that was really funny. Let me think. Yeah, and I just really love like him in this movie. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Richie? Let me think. Yeah, I think that's it about Richie. He's just really funny. So yeah. And then like we go to Mike. Now Mike had the least to do in this. Mike and Stan were the two losers that had the least to do as kids actually, and I think Stan was the one with like the least character development in this whole like miniseries. So yeah, but like Mike had a lot more character development in the second part of the movie. So yeah, but like Mike in this movie, yeah, he was really cool in this movie too. I really liked Mike. I really like how like he was the one that knew all the histories of Derry, and like he was the one that like yeah, he was the one that had like this like whole album of the histories of Derry, and he shared it to the whole class and all of that. That like all this like mysterious stuff about like these whole histories that like the ironworks explosion and all of that, and how 352 settlers disappeared without a trace in the charter for Derry Township. So yeah, that was a really cool thing that he did, was like showing them the histories of Derry. And I love how like he's the last one to join the Losers Club by like he goes in there like one like with this really cool apocalyptic rock fight, which they called it, and they really captured the rock fight really well in this movie. Like they were throwing rocks at them, and then Mike like stood up for himself too, and he was throwing rocks too. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else about Mike? Yeah, and I just like how I love how Mike chooses to help them out with defeating it. So yeah, Mike was pretty good too. And then we go to Stanley Uris. Stan was pretty good in this movie, but I just thought he had really, really least character development in this movie. Like, he didn't really say much in the movie. He was mostly, like, the background character of the Losers Club, but he was still really enjoyable. And they still kept in that he was a Jew and all of that. But what I didn't like was they didn't bring those funny, stereotypical, like, jokes that Richie would say to Stan about him being a Jew. But yeah, they should have at least kept that, and that would have gave Stan just a little bit more character development. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, just Stan was pretty good too. And like he had pretty good moments in here too. Like him like standing up for himself in the bullies, and just like him like, oh yeah, another thing that was really good about him was that he was the one that was like the most scared of it. Like he was the one that was like the most terrified of Pennywise, and like Pennywise could even smell it too, that he's the most terrified. So yeah, and I love in the end where like Pennywise like carries Stan and he's about to eat him, but then Eddie like goes in and like sprays him with the inhaler but pretends it's battery acid, and that really hurts him. So yeah. So yeah, Stan was just a really good character, and I think that was a really good character development, that he was the only one, he was the one that was the most scared of it. So yeah, Stan was pretty good too. So yeah, and then we go to the bullies. The bullies were pretty. They really captured the bullies really well in this movie. So yeah, but They should have kept a lot more stuff with the bullies. But the one thing I'm so grateful for that they didn't put in neither of these adaptations is the hand job scene with Patrick Hockstetter and Henry, not it, Henry, Patrick Hockstetter and Henry. Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm so grateful they did not put in these adaptations. So yeah, that was really grateful that they didn't put that. So yeah, but they were still really evil in this movie. Like they were really evil and like they really captured these bullies really well. But they could have just kept a bit more scenes, like the scene where like they break with the scene where Henry breaks Eddie's arm. They could have at least kept that, or they could have like put the scene where like he's the one to like they could have kept the scene where like he killed his father and all of that. Yeah, there was just a lot more scenes they could have kept with Henry. So yeah, but like he was still really good in this movie for what this movie needed to be too. So yeah, he was just really good in this movie. He was just really terrifying and really evil. So yeah, and I just love all the scenes where he's tormenting and picking on the loser. So yeah, and I love that scene where like he almost cuts Ben's belly, but then like he falls back and like yeah, and then he's just like always. I love how he's always telling the losers like you guys are dead. I'm gonna kill you all and all this. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, that was just really cool, and like the scene where like the losers stand up for themselves with the bullies was really cool, and I think they did a better job adapting the apocalyptic rock fight in this movie than in the new movie. So yeah, let me think. Is there anything else about Henry? So yeah, Henry was just really evil, and I love his like sidekick people too. They didn't even have any character development at all, but yeah, and but they were still really cool too. Like they captured Belch pretty well in this movie, and Victor Chris. Yeah, yeah. They neither of them got much of character development in the book, but I think Belch did. But Victor didn't really get much character development. So yeah, that was for what this movie needed to be. It was pretty good. So yeah. Is there anything else about Henry I should say? Yeah, just Henry was just really evil. Like a lot of death threats he gives is just really evil. So yeah, yeah, and I just love in the end like he like they're following the kids to the sewers and they're willing to kill Stan and all of that, but they fail because it comes in. So yeah, and I just love how they were actually willing to kill all the kids in the sewers. So yeah, and that was really evil. So yeah, they really captured the bullies really well in this movie. So yeah. So let's talk about the setting. Now the setting to this movie was amazing actually. Like you can really buy the setting so much. It takes place in the small town of Derry and there's woods in it and yeah, and like a lot of kids are going missing. So yeah, they really captured the setting of Derry really well in this movie, but not as well as the new one, which I'll get to later on. So yeah, just in this channel. So yeah, they really captured the setting really well. So yeah, all the actors, the kid actors all did such an amazing job. But when it got to the adults weren't really well acted. I'll get to that in the next video. So yeah, but all the kids acted really well. So yeah, and you can really buy their performances as the kids. So yeah. Let me think. The soundtrack to this movie was beautiful, actually. I love the soundtrack to this movie, actually. It was really beautiful and really perfect for this movie. So yeah. To rate this movie, I'll rate it an 8. I'll still rate it an A plus, even though it's not really faithful to the book. But yeah, I'll rate it an A plus still. So yeah, the pacing to this movie was amazing too. Like it went by pretty fast too, and it was really suspenseful and it worked too. So yeah, bye and see you all in the next review.